Squad, it's your boy Benjamin Stackham's here to put the human experience back in money and equip you with the tools to become financially dangerous. I got something juicy for y'all. The credit bureaus are in trouble. Back in October 13th, really to be exact. I have the letter right here in front of me on my laptop. But James Clyburn, who is part of the select subcommittee on the coronavirus crisis, sent a letter over to the CFPB telling the CFPB how the credit bureaus are basically not doing their jobs. They're obligated to look into whatever we send them in terms of disputes and all that. If something's wrong, they have to look into it. Guess what? They haven't been doing that. So I want to read some stuff off to you guys right here. I'm super excited. I love seeing stuff like this because this is stuff that us as credit repair organizations can leverage to help you guys repair your credit, or you guys can even use it on your own. So let's check this out. I got a couple sections here that I want to highlight. So section A, right? They state, and I'm taking certain pieces here. Okay, I'm going to leave the link below for you guys to read the entire thing, but I'm taking certain pieces here in which I thought were important. I want to give this to you. So section A, they stated that there was a spike in ID theft as people did it to fraudulently obtain pandemic relief benefits. Okay, so especially now it being the holidays, you know, Christmas coming up soon, even New Year's, but I mean, you know, just the fact that this is shopping season, the amount of ID theft that goes on increases. This link below for you guys here too, but according to the National Council on Identity Theft Protection, it says losses from identity theft cost Americans $5.8 billion in 2021. Think about that. That's a lot of money, okay? The FTC received 5 million total fraud and identity theft reports in 2021, and 1.4 million of those were consumer identity theft cases. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. We are in the digital realm. So the fact that we're in a digital realm, I mean, your information is free floating out here in this cloud, right? It's not like we could touch our information. It's all in this, right? These computers, your laptops, cell phones, and all. It's in this network, and it's all if somebody knows how to hack the internet or whatever, just a hacker overall. It's going to be a lot easier for them to just get your information like that. So I always tell people identity theft coverage is like a new insurance, right? So not only do you need to monitor your credit because your information basically makes up your credit, right? It's your reputation, but it's good to have that in place because, you know, they have things in place like reimbursement. They help you pay for lawyer fees if you have to go to court for whatever reason for your identity theft stuff. They help you, you know, get some of your money back, stuff like that. So I would highly suggest that you guys get some type of ID theft and credit monitoring services. All right, I'm gonna link something down below for you guys too, IDIQ. You guys can get this, and you know, you are way more protected than you are if you were to not have it, okay? I just suggest that you guys get some type of identity theft insurance, right? That's what I like to call it, to protect yourselves, because it's only going to get worse as we go on, because everything is just getting more and more and more digital, okay? And it even says fraud cases are up 70% from 2020. Just as we said too, I mean, from the letter right here, okay? A spike in ID theft as people use to fraudulently obtain pandemic relief benefits. All right, so let's see what else they say here. Errors in credit reports can reduce consumers' credit scores, potentially blocking access to loans, housing, and employment, among other serious consequences. Okay, so now the more errors, obviously, that we have, the less likely it is for you to get that apartment that you want to go rent, that house that you want to get a mortgage for, that car, get approved for a credit card, get approved for a loan, whatever it is. Again, this is your reputation. You have to protect your reputation, and your reputation is up on Experian, up on Equifax, up on TransUnion. And if your reputation doesn't look that good, creditors don't like that, and they're like, I'm not going to lend to this person. And if you didn't realize, your credit. So now we're looking as far as it determines where you live, your zip code, the job you get, insurance premiums. So if things are not in place, if things are not correct, if things are not accurate, it's only going to hurt you, right? So it even says right here, so this is just for Equifax. Equifax alone, just think about that, alone, and we have 3 major credit bureaus, and there's way more credit bureaus than those 3, okay? Equifax alone received nearly 14 million dispute submissions in 2021. 14 million. Now here's something to know. We're the credit bureau's product. It's us. Our information is the product of the credit bureaus in which they make money off of. So whenever we dispute, it costs them money. It's free for us, but it costs them money. So now the fact that it costs them money, they don't want to fish out that money. Think about what happens when they don't respond. Now, if they don't respond and you don't know what to do, you just leave it. It doesn't cost them anything now. I mean, granted, yeah, it's free for us, but we have to pay for envelopes. We have to pay for the stamps, depending on if you sent it off certified mail, stuff like that, right? So we got to think, if this isn't really, working as it's supposed to, the fact that they're not responding to us and you don't know what to do next, what's going to happen? Nothing, right? The credit bureaus are only going to sit there and just let it go. That's less money that they have to spend. Granted, yes, they are under federal law and even state law to reply to you. They have to. That's your information. Again, your information is the product in which the credit bureaus use to make money. So they're under obligation to make sure they respond to you because you have a right to protect your information here. So let's look at Section B. All right. I'm going to read verbatim. This might be a little long, but I want to make sure that you guys really see, again, what's in here. A lot of important stuff here. So it says, evidence obtained by the select subcommittee shows that the NCRA, the National Credit Reporting Agencies, have been discarding tens of millions of dispute submissions without investigation due to their suspicion that unauthorized third parties were involved. Specifically, at least 13.8 million dispute submissions were discarded without investigation between 2019 and 2021 alone. This is between all 3. I want to say that last part again. At least 13.8 million dispute submissions were discarded without investigations between 2019 and 2021 alone. According to 15 USC 1681I, the credit bureaus have 30 days. I'm going to say that again, 30 days to respond to you. They are under obligation under federal law to respond to you. And this is from the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis. Straight from the White House. Again, I'm going to link this down below so you guys can see for yourselves. But really think about that. This is your information. So now if you want your information corrected, it won't happen. At least it hasn't happened here between 2019 and 2021 for some people, because now they're just throwing it away. Wait till we finish this because I got some juicy stuff for y'all here. I'm going to continue on here. Although the NCRA's, National Credit Reporting Agencies, are not required to investigate disputes submitted by unauthorized third parties as they are for complaints, there is a reason to be concerned that the NCRAs may be dismissing some legitimate disputes without investigation. The NCRAs appear to be using broad and speculative criteria to determine whether a dispute may have come from unauthorized third party in the first place. For example, Equifax told the Select Subcommittee that mail that tends to use identical language and format and come in the same zip code may be determined not to come from a consumer and therefore be exempt from investigation. I'm going to say that again. Equifax, talking about again, only one of the credit bureaus, so we can't say it's all of them, right? They can only tell us what each of them is doing. Equifax told the Select Subcommittee that mail that tends to use identical language and format and come from the same zip code may be determined to not come from a consumer and to therefore be exempt from investigation. What? That's insane. So now, all because, again, and I'm going to say this again, use identical language and format and come from the same zip code. So let's think about this. If you actually go to consumerfinance.gov, and identitytheft.gov, they all have templates for you to use to send out to the credit bureaus. So going back to this whole thing about tends to use identical language and format and comes from the same zip code, you're telling me if people from certain zip codes, and think about it, when you're looking at certain zip codes, you're talking about, let's say, lower class, lower income people. They don't have the resources as those from another zip code who have higher incomes. So now they can only get access to whatever's available. And now they all use the same thing because that's all that's available to them and that's all that they know. You're telling me y'all not going to look at it? Come on. That's a whole violation right there. And the thing is here, talk to a lawyer about this, but there's some times where you can actually get compensated from the credit bureaus because they violated your rights, and it goes anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per violation. But that's something you got to talk to an attorney for, okay? I'm going to continue here. Now we're going on to Experian because we just talked about Equifax. Experian explained that it assesses envelope characteristics, attachment characteristics, and letter characteristics, including factors such as same/similar ink color, okay, same/similar font, same/similar verbiage to make this determination. Same exact thing as I just said. Same exact thing as I just said, but we see here how they just sit there and, you know what? It's the same color. It's the same thing that somebody else said on the same letter. And again, what if that's the only resource that this person has? And what do you want? Everybody to print something in pink ink, blue ink, and it's fucking stupid. TransUnion now. TransUnion produced a credit repair identification reference guide that shows that the company uses various envelope-related criteria, such as multiple envelopes of the same size, color, and type, to determine that a letter has come from a credit repair clinic and not the individual consumer. I'm telling you, like I said, I got excited and this gets me like hyped up, because then at the same time, we have the right to use credit repair organizations. And this is federal law. So I'm going to link this below, and I want you guys to check out 15 USC 1679A1. I'm going to read this verbatim for you, okay? The Congress makes the following findings. Consumers have a vital interest in establishing and maintaining their credit worthiness and credit standing in order to obtain and use credit. As a result, consumers who have experienced credit problems may seek assistance from credit repair organizations, which offer to improve the credit standing of such consumers. This is federal law. But yet, they just want to sit there and lollygag and not have to look at, because of your envelopes. They don't want to look at your stuff. They don't want to look at your letters because of a certain font. They don't want to look at this because of a certain color. Bro, I told y'all, this gets me hyped up. They're just violating everybody's rights out here. 14, so what was that number? 13.8 million dispute submissions were discarded without investigation between 2019 and 2021. All because of these stupid rules. It's complete violation after violation after violation, okay? This is why we have to understand our consumer rights, because now the fact that we don't know them, and if you don't know your rights, you don't get to use them. You don't get them. The more that we know our rights, we can use it to our advantage and then possibly even get compensated because of their stupidness, right? Let's go on to what else it says. In addition to the inherent problems with these criteria, CFPB has explained, and the CFPB, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, has explained that they also filter out consumers who have gotten help with their disputes from the government or other reputable sources. CFPB itself provides sample templates, as I stated earlier, for consumers to use when disputing information with the NCRAs. And the agency has observed that legitimate complaints using these templates have been dismissed due to suspected third-party involvement. Okay, credit repair organizations are third parties, but you're still legally allowed to use them. Again, 15 USC 1679A. Consumers should not be expected to be experts in the reporting system. They should be able to utilize government resources and other supports without having to fear that it may result in their dispute being ignored by the NCRAs. Again, you guys, me, you, everybody you know, everybody here has the right to use a credit repair organization. Why would you use one? Because you may not understand consumer law, you may not understand your rights under, consumer law itself, and then you may just want to save yourself some time. You might want to get educated. Either way, you have the right to use one. Credit runs our lives. Credit runs our lives. As I stated, it puts you in a certain zip code because you may get approved in one place versus another. Okay, higher income zip codes and stuff with a lower credit score, less likely. But another zip code that has a reputation of having like a lower income, population, easier to get approved from. So, I mean, the more that you're able to fix your own credit, the more you understand consumer law, the better life you could live. This truly affects the quality of your life. Okay, so let's go to section C. The NCRAs have attempted to shift the responsibility and blame for the accuracy of consumer report data onto data furnishers. All right, data furnishers are the people who come up with the information, and this is the creditors. Like if you have a car loan, they furnish the data over to the credit bureaus, stuff like that, okay? The companies that provide consumer data to the NCRAs. Data provided to the select subcommittee show that all three, Experian, TransUnion Equifax, NCRAs referred the vast majority of the dispute submissions they received to data furnishers between 2019 and 2021, with only slight changes from year to year, 61 to 62% of disputes each year of Equifax, 54 to 56% at Experian, 80 to 82 at TransUnion. Following referral, data furnishers are required to conduct their own investigation of the disputed information and report results back to the NCRAs. However, furnishers often conduct pro forma perfunctory investigations, ignoring consumer submitted documents and information. As recently as June 2021, last year, the CFPB cited the NCRAs for having insufficient accuracy procedures, something right there to leverage, to identify unreliable data furnishers. This means that at least some of the NCRA's data has come from demonstrably unreliable furnishers. Examiners found that some furnishers had responded to disputes in ways that suggested that furnishers were no longer sources of reliable, verifiable information about consumers. So now they're lying. So here's the thing about credit repair. Not even just credit repair, but just credit overall. The lower credit you have, the more money they make off of you. Think of higher interest, right? Think of them being able to keep you down in the system. You see how this game is being played all over some information that may be inaccurate. Despite observing this dispute response behavior by furnishers, consumer reporting companies continue to include information from these furnishers. I'm telling y'all. Some stakeholders have also pointed out that the NCRAs often engage in parroting, a practice of blindly adopting the response of a data furnisher without conducting any independent investigation. So think about it. Basically, this is all saying that the data furnishers are, you're asking for proof from data furnishers, and they're not showing that they're even reliable sources. This is like asking Pepsi, is Pepsi healthy? And they're gonna say yes because they want you to buy their product. Of course, Pepsi's gonna talk about their own product if it's good. Of course, McDonald's will talk about their own product as if it's good if you're gonna ask them. So they're saying there's no third party that's going in and verifying the information itself. These data furnishers are sitting here and like, yeah, it's accurate, here you go, bye. And here's the thing, that it's not even people looking this up. This is all automated on a computer. Something called e-Oscar, but that's for another video. We'll talk about that in next time. So let's go to the last section, section D, in which I pulled some information from. The select subcommittee began investigating the sufficiency of the NCRA's dispute investigations following CFPB's finding that the amount of consumer relief, e.g. correction or removal of reported errors, resulting from CFPB complaints dropped dramatically during the pandemic. So they just they weren't as responsive as they were, and they didn't delete as many errors as they did before. In 2019, around 25% of complaints resulted in relief. By 2021, now this is crazy. By 2021, this figure had dropped to just 4.1%. You go from 25% of errors being deleted to all the way down 21% less, down to 4.1% of everything being deleted. We are being played with. We are being played with. We have to stop this. And you guys, if you guys do not know what to do, if you guys need help, ask a credit repair agency to help you out. A credit repair organization, somebody, because this is insane here. For example, CFPB's January report quotes a complaint in which a consumer stated that an erroneous entry for medical services that they never received, which the NCRAs had failed to correct, had lowered my credit score almost 100 points and is preventing me from buying a house. I got a question for y'all. Did we vote on these 3 credit bureaus to handle our information and our credit? Did we? Because I know I didn't. And I can guarantee you that you didn't either. These people are playing with our information. One more thing here. Data provided to the select subcommittee show that at least half of consumer disputes did not result in any change or relief between 2019 and 2021, with this number changing little from year to year. During this period, Equifax verified 53 to 57% of disputed items without making any changes each year. Experian verified around 48% each year, and TransUnion verified 47 to 51% each year. They're verifying with the people who basically, again, McDonald's to McDonald's. They're verifying with data furniture scores or are showing that they're not reliable. I want to show you guys one more thing. All right, I'm going to link this down below. This is a court case that was in 2020. Okay, Sean J. Younger versus Experian Information Solutions Inc. LLC. I'm going to link this below. All right, I want you guys to go to page 6. I'm going to read this verbatim as well. At trial, Younger moved to evidence Experian suspicious mail policy. The policy that states that a sorter, so a person, is to evaluate each piece of mail for certain listed, and it's literally in quotations, characteristics that might suggest a letter is not from the consumer. But what did we just say? Going back to 15 USC 1679-1, right? Didn't it just say that consumers may seek assistance from credit repair organizations? Okay, so even more violations, and this is in court. For example, suspicious characteristics include envelopes that are similar in size or type. How many different types of envelopes do we have out there, right? I mean, the only ones I know about are the A4 envelopes, I think they're called, or whatever. But the regular white envelopes that you would fold papers and put in, or those big brown ones. What are the ones that they're expecting for us to send? Envelopes that contain similar ink, color, or font. We just talked about that one in the last one. So again, do you want us to print in pink, next one in blue, next one in yellow? Like, I don't get it. Letters with a similar format, again, you can go to consumerfinance.gov, identitytheft.gov, and they have letters there for you. So if that's all somebody has access to because that's all they know and they want to make an attempt at it, so now you're not going to look at it because it's all the same. I mean, that comes straight from the government. Hand-addressed envelopes with a typed letter. So if I wrote my address and your address and then I sent it out, but the letter was typed instead of written, come on, this is insane, y'all. Other suspicious characteristics include a signature found on an attachment that differs from the signature on the letter, data on an attachment document that appears to have been manipulated, data on an attachment document that does not appear logical, a return address on the letter itself, which differs from the return address appearing on an envelope. What if somebody has a P.O. box? So of course, we're going to put our address on the letter because that's how the credit bureaus are going to identify who we are. they're gonna want proof on a copy of your driver's license or ID. So we're gonna use that to match that up with your ID. But then if you don't want mail sent to your house, and we have a PO box, okay, and a series of envelopes where the postmark is in the same city, but the return addresses are in different cities, you still have to look at that. When 5 or more letters from different consumers in a batch of mail contain the same listed characteristics, the policy counsel that a sorter can reasonably conclude that they may not have been mailed by a consumer and mark them suspicious. Regardless, you have an obligation to look at this. Your rights are being violated, guys. Your rights are being violated, and for every violation, you may be able to get compensated. But again, that's something that you have to talk to an attorney or a lawyer about. Also, a credit repair organization can help you guys. So, points in this video. So 1, make sure you get a credit monitoring service because it helps you with identity theft protection if that were to happen to you. And as we said, fraud cases are up 70% since 2020. 2, get to know your consumer rights. So get up with a credit repair organization. All right, we can help you guys. If you guys are looking for help, you guys can contact us. All right, the email is admin@benjaminstackums.com. All right, email us and we'll be able to help you repair your credit. We'll be able to help you understand credit better. All right, because our goal is to make sure that you understand how this system works. Credit repair to us is not just, oh, okay, we're going to delete some items and you go off. You have to understand how the system works, how credit works, because now if you don't and we repair your credit, you're more likely to do the same exact thing before, because at the end of the day, after we repair your credit, I want to make sure that you don't need us. You can do this yourself now at that point. All right. 3, understand that the credit bureaus do not care about you. We are their product. It's us that is their product. So now that we understand that, now if you didn't understand that before, now that we understand that, we are their product that they make money off of, we need to protect ourselves, our reputation. And now we see that the White House is getting involved and they're putting it up to the CFPB to then go towards the credit bureaus to say, yo, y'all got a lot of stuff to fix up. All right. So I know this was a lot. This is, again, verbatim from the document itself. I'm going to link all that stuff below that we went over today. I'm going to link below IDIQ credit monitoring services so you guys can actually get some credit monitoring services to help you guys, again, with ID theft, to help monitor your credit. You guys are able to see all 3 credit scores. You guys are able to see your entire credit profile. They have a helpline you guys can call. All right, so make sure you guys get in with all of that. And again, I am here to put the human experience back in money and equip you with the tools to become financially dangerous. Stay financially dangerous, y'all. I'll see you on the next video.